Now, still understanding the basics of a hypothesis test, we're going to talk about kind of the conclusions that can occur. Now, there's kind of two ranges for this, and we have kind of the same situations going on if we view this kind of like a trial. So one is that we make a correct decision, okay? And then the other is we have two error types. One of them is if the null is true, but we reject it, then we have made a type 1 error. If the other one is if H1 is false, but we don't reject it when we should have, then that is a type 2 error when that occurs. Okay, so they give us this pretty little chart. I'm going to draw another kind of version of this so that you can understand where this is coming from, okay? So if we have, kind of thinking about this like our court case, okay, and so I'm going to build this up again, okay? So this is going to be our verdict up here, okay? So we find them not guilty, and we find them guilty, okay? Now, here is reality, okay? So if they were not guilty, and if they actually did it, okay? So if we failed to reject, okay, so we found them not guilty, and they were legit not guilty, then this was a correct decision. We did what we were supposed to. Good. Now, if we find them guilty and they legit did it, then we have a correct decision. Okay? Now, if we find them guilty, but reality is that they were not guilty. Now, this is a type 1 error. Okay. And this is wrongful imprisonment. Okay. So we sent them away for, whatever it was. We sent them away for murder, but they didn't actually do it. That's what a type 1 error is. Now, if we said they were not guilty, but in reality they did it, this is a type 2 error. Okay. And so this is, they got away with it. Okay. So we're going to talk about kind of a couple of setups for this as far as decision making, and then what's going on if we made a type 1 or a type 2 error as this process is through. So here we go. They want us to determine whether or not we did a type 1 error, type 2 error, correct decision. So they tested whether or not, so we have H1 is that mu is equal to 41. H1 is that mu is greater than 41. Okay, so this is the hypothesis testing. The true value of mu is 41. Now, first off, right there, if the real value is 41, this is what I should do. So I should fail to reject. This is what I should do because I should keep this as my answer. Okay. Now then, it says this is the true value. H naught is not rejected. Okay. Now, they said not rejected. I failed to reject. We match. This is a correct decision. Okay. So now, same setup. So this time we've got H naught is that mu is 41. H1 is that mu is not 41. Yeah. Okay. The true value of mu is 40. Now, based on that, okay, based on us saying that the true value is 40, there we go, then this is what I should do. This is where I should stick my answer, okay? So I should reject. Okay, so I should reject. H naught is not rejected. Okay, so this is, I should have found them guilty, but I did not. This is a type 2 error, okay, because I should have found them guilty, but I didn't, okay? So I let them get away with it. So this is a type 2 error. Okay, so now let's also talk about, okay, how to set these up if I'm given a word problem. Okay, so we've got a new type of fertilizer is being tested on a plot of land in an orange grove to see whether it increases the amount of fruit produced. The mean number of pounds of fruit on this plot of land with the old fertilizer is 419. Okay, so that means H naught, we think that the new fertilizer will still be at 419. Okay. The agricultural scientists believe the new fertilizer may increase the yield. So if they think it's going to increase, then they think that the mean will be greater than 419. Now, it is worth noting, okay, on these, that this H1 statement, when we have these hypothesis testing, this H1 statement is either going to be greater than, less than, or not equal to. Those are the only three options we have: greater than, less than, or not equal to. It can't be any other things other than those. Okay, so this would be how to set that up from there. Now, next one, we've got a restaurant owner claims that the mean amount spent by diners in his restaurant is more than 30. Now, because of what he said it's more than 30. I'm actually going to start by writing H1 because of the verbiage that they used. They said more than 30, which means then I'm going to go set the other one. My null is that they spend $30. Now, they could spend less, but we'll top it off at 30. Now, if they come through, okay, and based on this, and they run a hypothesis test, and they said that the null is not rejected. Okay, now, what is a way that we can state a conclusion? Kind of put this in work, okay? Think about a trial here. There is not enough evidence to show the mean amount spent is more than $30. Okay, so there's not enough evidence to show that the mean amount spent is more than $30.